Hi guys, welcome back to the show. Luis, Green Zebra Gardening here. Let's give you a quick tour of the backyard. I just shot the one from the front yard, so you guys probably saw it already. I was going to shoot this one next weekend, but you know what, the light is perfect back here, so I'm just going to do it now. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on in the backyard. There's been some changes, a lot of cleanup, and it's looking much better. Let's go. Alright guys, we're starting with the shed that I just showed you in that opening sequence. So we're going to start from here and work our way that way. This is going to be our improved Meyer lemon tree. We already picked one this year off of this. These things are massive. I know I got to clean up all the grass and all the junk underneath there to make it look better, and I still have, I'm not even going to show you what's back there. So much stuff. Anyways, we have this Suma Mandarin Orange. I know that needs to be trimmed. It needs to be pruned. This is some kind of pepper. I don't know what kind. It's probably the same one that keeps coming back every year. Although it died, I think, for a year, passed out, and it came back stronger and better than ever. And actually, this one here, if I pull it up, it's actually attached to this one. And this thing is almost to my neck. This thing is tall. Granted, it isn't a raised bed, but still. Anyways, this is where I had my corn. I had a two sisters garden. I had my corn and I had my squash. I had some butternut squash. I got a small squash out of it. It wasn't doing too hot. I think the sun, maybe the nutrients in here weren't doing all that well. So I went ahead and cleaned all that out, harvested what I could, and then just seeded a bunch of greens. Kales, lettuces, I think I threw in here. I even have a nasturtium I can see over there, but I don't know, that could be a volunteer. I threw in some beets. I threw in, some chard along the back row. I think I even have some radishes in here. And then these guys are volunteers, which I'm not going to let them grow in here because then they're going to shade out all my greens in here. This one is a little further ahead. I put in the trellis, just the poles with the sea bites. If you guys haven't seen that video on my review, my full review on those, I'll link that below. These are scarlet runner beans. These are, if you saw the last tour, the video of the front yard garden, you'll see these all over the place. This is the ones with the bright red and pinkish flowers. But anyways, I threw in some sweet potato right there. I filled in the rest with what do you call them? Soybeans. This is a volunteer squash, pumpkin of some sort. We have a volunteer tomato, which I might attempt to attach to the trellis right behind it. More soybeans, some kind of squash. I have another sweet potato in here somewhere in the back, and that's starting to climb up the trellis as well. We have blueberries. Don't mind the dog. Holy Toledo. I was just back here the other day and I didn't. These guys have just like literally ripened over like the last like day or two. Here's another one. Everything's much happier now because I fixed the drip system. I put a new timer on it and it's doing much better. This is the other blueberry bush. So this one, I don't know what the variety is. This one I know is a little spicier. The blueberries themselves. This one blooms and fruits first. Once that one's done, this one picks up the slack. So we have a continuous harvest. These are what I seeded as pea shoots. They're about a foot tall right now, so they're kind of past the pea shoot stage, although you can probably still chop them up and eat them. I seeded some cucumbers in here, but because I haven't pulled out the pea shoots, then they're kind of having to elongate themselves. I did the same thing over here, but I harvested the pea shoots much sooner, and so then the cucumbers are not as tall. They're not as lanky. This is my container garden over here. I found some old, I want to say Cosmo seeds I threw in there. I put in a sweet potato in this one. I put in some seed tape for some carrots that I had, and I want to say that holy basil. We have some yacon. Those containers are all seeded within like the last week, so that's when anything's come up. This is a yacon plant that I got from Wendy over at It's Wendyland. I'll link her channel below. She's got some amazing stuff, and the stuff that she does with her space is crazy to me. If you think this is cool, you should really go check her channel out. Anyways, this is Padron Pepper. This is a 5-gallon container, and it is just putting out like crazy. This is my Lacatan banana, which was, let's see if I can spin you around so it doesn't give you dizzy. It was actually right there where that where that pool is. It wasn't getting enough sun. The sun comes over there and it moves that way, and so it was kind of hidden back here. The only part that was actually really happy was the part up on top, which was above that, above the roof line, and so it was getting more sun. And that's I want to say 40 or 45 gallon smart pot. Here's another large smart pot. This one, I had some corn in it. This is the one I'd overseeded the corn. I had 16 plants in it. Wasn't doing all that well. I said forget it. I pulled them, and because I can't keep up with my toddler's love for tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, he went ahead and, or I went ahead rather, and bought a couple more. Cherry, these are just red cherries. I want to say they're husky cherries. I don't even remember. Oh, right here. That just says tomato cherry red. I don't know what that means. Looks like just standard cherry tomatoes. And then I also went ahead and seeded some holy basil here, and it's already starting to come up. My growie in there. Everything back here is on the drip system now. I have a timer, which I'll show you in a second, which is why this mulberry tree, this was also recently moved over here, but I hadn't put it on the drip system. It's now on the drip system. It's starting to green up. It's starting to look pretty. Really quick before I show you the timer, these are apple bananas I bought from somebody off a crop swap. I bought 7 of them. The person that, my neighbor, they've got a small pickup truck, and so I asked her to go pick them up for me. They're about 10 minutes away. Because these are small, but 2 of them were, I think, like 7 or 8 feet tall, and so she asked to buy some of the plants, the banana plants, off of me. I said, you know what, just pick them up and you can have them. You can have the 2 big ones. And so this container is going home with somebody else, with foraged fruit, with Naomi, and I will go ahead and pot. There's 2 in here. I'll go ahead and I gotta get more of these large pots. I'm gonna probably put one right where that one is, and I might put the other one over here. Remove these small ones. I might put the small ones along the front edge. Let me know what you think. That's the other thing. We have this little strip here of just grass, or just dirt. I'm thinking I can probably seed it with grass or something, or maybe some buckwheat, some cover crop, which I'll get to in a second. But I just haven't done it. So, in case you're wondering, I have a variety of basil, of holy basils in there. It's this one. Basil, Thai, Holly, or Holy Caprao. I know I'm massacring that name. As you can see, Baker Creek. I honestly don't remember ordering these, but do we ever? I'm just gonna hang it upside down. I think my seed bites are gonna be doing pretty well. This is the starter kit that they sent me, so I put it in there, but I wanted more support so I can tie up the plants and go straight up. We'll see. I'm hoping to get like a, you know, a giant, like, I don't know, tree type thing out of here. When the season is done with those, I might put, depending on where I'm at, I might put one of those apple bananas in there, or I might put something else in there. But also this this mulberry tree, like, it was just like straight up dying. It was just horrible. But now that I got it on the drip system, it waters it every day. It's looking much great. But now what everybody's been waiting for, the timer. This is a basic, I want to say Orbit. I have to look at my emails and whatnot, because that's how I ordered it. And then I also got a Gilmore extender, just because that hose bib is pretty low to the ground and my timer wouldn't fit under there, so I needed that little extension. I had a regular hose on there, but because the pressure is constant coming from here straight to the timer, it was putting all the stress on here, and so that's why I went with this one. I'll go ahead and link that down below as well if I can find it. I just picked it up at Home Depot. I think it was like $7 or $8, but this one is made for high capacity, high power. I don't remember what the word was, but basically it should do its job. Timer is really easy to use as well. This one, I don't know if I ever shot a video on it, but this one is all grass. I mean, I know I've done the videos of just mowing this stuff down, but my neighbor, the one that helped me bring over the banana trees, her husband, you know, redid the backyard. I think I've talked about it. They redid the backyard and they had all this mulch. I told them where to go get it and whatnot. And so they had all this mulch and they're like, "What, did you need mulch?" I said, "Of course I need mulch." And so I had some of the cardboard that I had been stacking up and saving. That weekend, I basically went ahead and put down the cardboard, put down a ton of mulch. I've grown pea shoots, which I'm still, so I'm thinking I might just chop and drop these, or I might drop these in the compost bin. I'm gonna get another bag, put it on top, another bag of soil. But on this side, this is what I had already harvested. I went ahead and reseeded with some greens and some lettuces and stuff, and some of the peas are actually coming through there. But here in the corner we have the pomegranate. It is doing amazingly well. It's been in this spot for maybe a year now. Yeah, because I put it in there last spring. My kumquat tree has taken some time to recover, but this like last week or so it's been covered in blooms, and so now it's putting out fruit and it looks like it's gonna be loaded, so we'll see. Got some zinnias in here. If you saw my last tour from the front yard, you'll see that I went a little crazy with the zinnias in the front yard. That's tiny, that's nothing. We even have a pomegranate forming on here. We had a lot of blooms, I want to say within like the last month or so, but I don't know that any of them actually took. I think it's really just establishing itself. Although last year did pretty good right when I first put it in here. I might need to feed it. If you know what I need to feed it, just tell me. Leave it in the comments. We're going to move over to the next bed. We have a shishito pepper. This year I went a little crazy on the shishitos as well. We have a mighty crop on here. This basically you attach it to any pole, any of these green poles, any of these green stakes. They have different sizes for you to put it in, and the idea is that you can hook it onto the sides. It can grow up to the middle. The only thing is I put this on a shishito not realizing its growth pattern, and so the shishito, I topped it, which is part of the reason I did this, but it generally automatically bushes out. I heard that from a friend, from Lisa over at Carmel Bella Farm over on Instagram. Anyways, she also suggested that I should grow padron. I happen to have a pack. This is from the same pack from the other two plants that you've seen, or the other plant that you've seen over there in the 5-gallon pot. This one is bigger, and I think they have about the same amount of fruit. This one's just taller because it's been in the ground longer. That other one was basically in a small, I think like 1 or 2 gallon pot for so long. I just moved it up to a 5-gallon pot within the last few weeks, and it's really taken off. These I'm using the sea bites on. These are great because these are already bamboo poles I already had, and y'all know I love my clips. So this one is doing very well. These are supposed to be, according to Lisa, these are supposed to be just as good, if not better, than the shishitos. I'm loving the shishitos this year, and I'm amazed as to how much these plants produce. It's just crazy to me. Before we get to the big tree, oh, looks like we got some cilantro in here. I did have some cilantro. We got some basil. This is regular sweet basil. I threw in, I think, a couple packs in here with obviously some cilantro because I can see it coming up, and some of the peas. Because when I initially did the cover crop of peas, basically, I just kind of threw them on top, and then I've put a couple layers of soil on here from trays and just soil that was dried out. I just threw it on here just to add mass, and so it covered up some of the seeds that hadn't germinated, and so now they're coming up. But I'm hoping to have a good amount of basil. This is regular basil, sweet basil, and then on the other side I have, in the containers I have, is the with the cherry tomato plant, and with the in the smaller container that's gonna be your holy basil. But anyways, here we have our papaya tree. We've got 2. We got some blooms coming in. I haven't had any fruit off of it. I've had it for a year or 2 now, I think. But honestly, that first year was really just in a container that didn't really grow very much. Once I put them in here, I mean, they've literally just exploded in growth. And the sun comes in from directly behind me, and so it shoots out that way. And so that wall is technically south facing, so it gets all that heat. It likes the heat, so that's why I think it's expanded. They were both about the same size. I think the taller one is a little bit bigger when I transplanted it, but this one I don't think was that much smaller, but it's for some reason taking its time to come up. Let me just finish off this bed. And in here we have a Goji Berry. I learned from Wendy this last week, because she posted pictures of her Goji Berry fruiting, I think, and I asked her, I said, what's the deal? Mine is putting out all this growth, but not really putting out any fruit. I think I've had one. She told me that these guys like to be watered basically on a schedule, but not completely drowned in water. And so I think that's what my issue is. Now that I have it on a timer, so I would like only water like once a week, but I would basically drown the thing until the water started coming out the bottom of the container. And the only reason it's in a container is because I was afraid to put it in the ground, because I heard they spread. Although even here it might spread, just because the roots will still go down through the hole. But I've had these, this one I've had for a few years. My sister gave me a seed pack from Amazon, some kind of specialty thing, you know, I don't know what the word is. And I actually have grown this from seed, and it's looking really pretty during the colder months. Like all the leaves like literally just they all fall off, so it looks dead. It just sticks. But once the weather warms up and it heats up, this thing just exploded. So I think that's it on the beds themselves. And on that area, let me go and show you the other 3 containers I have over here, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so on the concrete patio we have an aloe plant. This one was just potted up. I had a big blue container. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it below about the splitting of the aloe. That'll basically show you everything, so I'm just gonna skip through it. We have a fig tree, which I haven't gotten any fruit off of, but then it looks like it's exploding all over in growth this year. So I may just wait to see if it gives me anything. I really haven't had a chance to really look at it to see if there's any fruit for me. But I may just end up trimming some of it back and taking cuttings and, you know, getting those to root and either sell them, give them away, share them, whatever. Over here we have a rose geranium my mother-in-law gave me years ago. I put it in the container, left it alone, watered it every so often. And then we have an aloe in here that my wife's coworker gave her. Let me go back over here. I don't know if I showed you guys the rhubarb. Well, I'll show you the rhubarb first and then the dying tomato over here. So this rhubarb was actually over in that corner, you know, where the scarlet runner beans are and everything else is growing. I did not know that there was a green variety. That's what I have. Apparently this is one of the only ones that can handle the heat in Southern California. They smell amazing. I transplanted it. I dug it up from over there, put it into a pot. Because I had never transplanted rhubarb, never grown it, I didn't know how I was going to do. I looked up, again, I went to YouTube University. My kids were playing with their little poppers over here. Yeah. And so I didn't know if it was going to survive or not. I put it in here, gave it some good soil, gave it some good water. I water it every few days, and this thing in a matter of like maybe a month has like shot up. The only plant, or the only leaves that were on here was basically, I think there was one that was like maybe this size, like this height, and it had, you know, the small leaf, and I had another one coming up which was maybe a couple extra inches above that. But it has exploded and it is just gorgeous. When I harvested it, we saved some of the stalks, we chopped them up and put them into the freezer, maybe make some rhubarb items out of those later. This is it was supposed to be a Aunt Ruby's German green, but one of the last tomatoes I harvested off of it was red, so I don't know what it is anymore. These are too hard. I water this pretty regularly. It's not on the drip system just because the container itself is falling apart. but we will see. This is actually a prototype of the Victory planter. I dropped it and it broke in 10 different places, so I might just end up after the season take out the cloth bag and put it over there with its buddies, and then just put something else in there. So we'll see. But I think that's it. The lawn I'm actually pretty proud of. I have been watering it, keeping up with it. I have been doing some cover cropping in here. I did some buckwheat in here. I did some chias. You know, we were cleaning out the pantry and I had a bunch of chia seeds. I threw them out here to see if they would grow. They'd been in there for a few years. Oh yeah, they grew. And so I just mowed everything down this last weekend, a couple days ago. And so I've been watering it, and so it's greening up nicely. So it's looking pretty good. So then the kids can, you know, hang out in the back. We've cleaned up the patio quite a bit. And backyard's looking very nice. And I didn't even have to buy a water feature because the neighbors back there have one. It's running water. Oh, just see if I can get that shot now. Oh, see, that's kind of sad. They haven't picked it. So the guys over there, I might go over there and talk to them. Although I really don't like papaya. Can you see that? Right in the middle. Right, where's my finger? Right here. That's a papaya tree. They've got, looks like some of them on there rotting. So I don't know if they just don't know what it is, if they don't like them, if they don't want to take it out. I don't know, but it looks like they've got another one right next to it, a shorter one. So we'll see. We won't, because I've got my own papaya trees over here. And honestly, I don't even like them. I just like growing them because they're cool. So it's a tropical fruit, and I can always swap them out for something else. Besides, I've got friends that love papaya. My parents love papayas, my dad and my mom. But anyways, I think that's it. There we go. I have corrected. The microphone is facing the other way. Anyways, I'm going to give you a different view on the ending shots here. That's basically it. I shot 3 videos today and my battery's about to die, so I'm going to space them out a little, maybe once a week. But for now, that's it. Whatever comments, not descriptions, whatever comments and anything else you want to tell me down there, go for it. You know, if it's constructive criticism, I greatly appreciate it. But I think that's pretty much it. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're liking what you're seeing. Again, as I've said in my previous videos, I'm going to try and be putting out more content. I just can't make any promises, but I'm trying. Alright guys, catch you guys on the next one. Peace.